At the party, everyone was having a blast, except for Fang Li, who was totally focused on finding something to eat. In the next room, over Jia Yi, a real hot girl, was getting hit on by some guy. Next to Jia Yi was this super loyal dude named Shirsu, who had even managed to get the dreamy Luo Yan to come to the party. But guess what? Luo Yan turned out to be Fang Li's old classmate from high school. The thing is, he'd lost all his memories of when they were in class together. Fang Li didn't know about that, so she just said hi to him like normal. So, when he got dared to kiss a girl, he picked Fang Li. She wanted to say no way, but everyone there kept insisting they kiss. And just like that, Fang Li lost her first kiss. Then on top of that, she accidentally got Luo Yan's shirt dirty. Of course, she had to take the shirt home and wash and iron it really carefully. When Fang Li got back to her dorm room, she overheard her roommates talking trash about her, but she just pretended she didn't hear anything and went inside. Seeing that she was being quiet, the three girls immediately started asking her what kind of tricks she used to get Luo Yan to kiss her. Even though Fang Li explained that Luo Yan just picked her randomly, the other three totally iced her out before she could even get a headache from her roommates. She was already stressing about how expensive the dry cleaning bill was. That's when she remembered back in high school, because she was a bad student. Luo Yan was always teasing her about being a total airhead. On top of that, since they were desk mates, the homeroom teacher asked her to look after him. But she also took advantage of sitting next to him to sell info about him to other girls. Fang Li carefully wrote down every transaction in a notebook. And wouldn't you know it, that notebook fell into Luo Yan's hands. He used that to turn her into his personal gopher. Luo Yan made her steal the homeroom teacher's wig, then made her buy him snacks. The worst thing was when he made her go to the loudspeaker and play the song Freak as a present to the teacher. The whole school was mortified when they heard the song, and she got reamed out by the teacher because of it. And to top it off, Luo Yan went back on his word and turned that notebook over to the teacher. From that moment on, Fang Li knew Luo Yan was her enemy. Later in class, since Jia Yi's group had the next class, the whole group asked her to save seats for them in the front row. Fang Li tried to hold places for 3 people, but when Jia Yi's group showed up, they sat somewhere else. She even tried to go sit with them, but realized there weren't any empty seats for her. Fang Li had to go back to her old seat and found Luo Yan sitting next to her. After class, she went to Jia Yi's group. She was hoping she could join their group, but Jia Yi turned her down flat. She said Fang Li wasn't in her league and should just stick to being an errand runner like before. The next morning, she was still cheerful. Now all she wanted to do was avoid Luo Yan, but everywhere she went, she ran into him because she was thinking about him so much that she was seeing things. The teacher became Luo Yan after school because she was so broke. She decided to look up chemistry books and make her own cleaning supplies at home. At the library, Fang Li was reading a book when she happened to see Jia Yi trying to get Luo Yan's contact info, but he turned her down cold. She saw Jia Yi leave and thought he was gone too, but as soon as she stepped outside, she bumped right into him. "Hey, Luo Yan," she asked him about his shirt. Fang Li immediately told him she'd bring it to him tomorrow morning. That night, she went to the school's lab and started making her homemade cleaning product. She was so confident that as soon as she finished, she sprayed it all over Luo Yan's shirt. At this moment, Luo Yan was waiting for a friend when he heard an explosion coming from the lab. He rushed to the scene, afraid someone was inside, so he kicked down the door and ran in. When he saw her unconscious, Luo Yan picked her up and carried her outside. Medical staff showed up and gave her oxygen, but Fang Li still passed out. The next morning, in the teacher's office, Luo Yan and Fang Li were both getting grilled. She insisted that she didn't cause the explosion, but the teacher definitely didn't believe her. The teacher asked Luo Yan when he saved Fang Li, did he see anyone else? Luo Yan was honest and said he only saw Fang Li. However, she absolutely disagreed. She said because she and he had a feud, he was saying that to frame her. The teacher, of course, believed Luo Yan more and told him to wait outside. Then the teacher went on and on scolding Fang Li and said he was going to expel her. Out of options, Fang Li could only beg Luo Yan to come in. She asked him to explain to the teacher, but he didn't remember anything about her, so he had no reason to help her. After he said that, he angrily left. At that moment, on the bulletin board, Jia Yi was making fun of Fang Li for blowing up the lab. Then she heard that Luo Yan had saved her from the lab. She immediately got jealous of Fang Li. When she saw her coming, she and her friends left in a huff in Luo Yan's class. The rumor that he and Fang Li were dating in the lab and caused the explosion had spread like wildfire. The teacher called him to the teacher's office and said that he and Fang Li were friends in high school. Plus, the teacher, based on the kiss they shared at the party before, immediately suspected they were dating and insisted on investigating him as well. At this time, Fang Li was using fruit to bribe the security guard to let her check the cameras. However, she was rejected. Luo Yan also came looking for her. He wanted to go to the teacher's office with her to explain, so she grabbed onto a ray of hope. She requested that he go to the teacher and say that she didn't cause the explosion, and then she would help him prove that the two of them weren't dating. However, Luo Yan rejected her offer. Later that day, at the canteen, Fang Li intentionally sat in front of him and said lovey-dovey things to Luo Yan, making his friends misunderstand. At the library, she also took sneaky pictures of him to post on her personal page. Luo Yan saw that post and chased after Fang Li. To avoid him, she even accepted running away in the rain. But no matter how fast she ran, she was still caught by Luo Yan. After threatening her, he pulled out his phone and recorded a video of her clarifying that Fang Li and Luo Yan had no relationship whatsoever. After that, he showed the video to the teacher. But the teacher blamed him for sacrificing the person he loved in order to escape responsibility. That night in the dorm, Fang Li returned to her room and found that the lock had been changed. She hurriedly banged on the door for Jia Yi's group to open the door, but she refused. Then she was chased away by people from the opposite room because she was too noisy. Out of options, she could only sit in front of the dorm feeling depressed. At this time, Chi Fei was delivering food and happened to see her looking dejected. Chi Fei immediately encouraged Fang Li. Then she discovered that the person who placed the delivery order was Jia Yi. So Chi Fei helped Fang Li knock on the door. Seeing that she had someone helping her, Jia Yi even wanted to call security. But fearing that the lock change would be discovered, she had to let Fang Li into the room. The next morning at the lab, Fang Li, because she was haunted by the explosion the other day, almost burned her hand. Seeing her like that, her friend Qiyang comforted her and even teamed up with her to do chemistry assignments. From that moment on, Fang Li and Qiyang started sticking together. Qiyang did the experiments, and she was responsible for taking notes. During a practice session, Qiyang asked her about the day of the explosion. He said that he had a cousin who cleaned up the scene that day. He said he could help her find out the cause of the explosion. Fang Li was overjoyed and thanked Qiyang. That night, while Fang Li was doing her chemistry homework, Luo Yan hacked her computer because Fang Li refused to unblock him. So she angrily left the computer and left. The next morning in chemistry class, she checked her computer and saw that the homework had disappeared. She and Qiyang went to explain to the teacher, but the teacher refused to believe her. So she could only ask the teacher to give Qiyang another chance, but the teacher still refused. Qiyang saw her arguing with the teacher for his sake, and together, they apologized to the teacher and then pulled her away. At this moment, Fang Li. She remembered when Luo Yan hacked her computer. She hurriedly went to the basketball court to find him. She forcibly kissed him and took a picture of that moment. Luo Yan was really angry, but when he saw her crying her eyes out, he gave up. That afternoon at the bubble tea shop where Chi Fei worked, she showed Chi Fei the picture of her and Luo Yan kissing. She had gotten her revenge, but she still didn't feel happy because she was about to get expelled. Seeing her like that, Chi Fei advised her to have a clear conversation with Luo Yan. While they were talking, she was called to the teacher's office. The teacher said that the explosion the other day had affected a flower garden, so he made her and Luo Yan replant the flowers in the garden. Luo Yan wanted to explain that he had nothing to do with Fang Li, but the teacher took out the picture of the two of them kissing as evidence. So both of them had to go plant flowers. In the elevator, Luo Yan blamed her for making everything like this, and she blamed him for losing her chemistry homework. Early the next morning, Fang Li kept calling him to wake him up. She even sent a confession letter, threatening him to go plant flowers. At the flower garden, Fang Li hung his confession letter on the tree because she couldn't let herself be wronged. Luo Yan could only shovel soil and plant flowers. Fang Li also took the opportunity to film him secretly. So Luo Yan got angry and sprayed water on her, and even tore up the confession letter with water. After planting flowers, Fang Li went to the bubble tea shop to show Chi Fei the video she had taken, then was asked by Chi Fei to deliver bubble tea for her. At this time, at the school's swimming pool, Shirsu called Luo Yan and Jia Yi to go swimming. After seeing Shirsu went down to the swimming pool, she ran to flirt with Luo Yan, but he immediately rejected. Seeing him like that, she said that Shirsu liked her and even gave her liquid nitrogen ice cream or something. But in her heart, she only liked Luo Yan. He looked down on her even more. Seeing that she couldn't flirt with him, Jia Yi angrily left. Shirsu, after coming up, saw Jia Yi leave and chased after her. Just when Luo Yan was about to leave, he saw Fang Li delivering bubble tea. Seeing him, she turned around and left, but tripped. To save her, Luo Yan fell into the swimming pool. While sinking, he remembered a bit of memory from high school. Fang Li pulled him ashore. Fortunately, he woke up very quickly but didn't bother to say thank you and left. The next morning at the flower garden, Fang Li asked Qiyang to take the soil here for testing to see if the soil was contaminated. While the two were talking, Luo Yan appeared. But after he chased Qiyang away, he also left. After that, Luo Yan went to find Jia Yi. He asked her about Shirsu giving her liquid nitrogen ice cream. But because she didn't remember anything about that liquid nitrogen ice cream, he had to ask for her contact info. The next morning at the lab, Chi-Yong said that the soil in the flower garden was fine. He also showed her a camera clip at the library. She clearly saw that Jia-E had accessed her computer. So Fang Li went to see Jia-E to clarify things, but she used the reason that she was about to get expelled as an excuse for herself. Seeing this, Fang Li wanted to take her to see the teacher, but Jia-E and her friends left. Luo Yan was standing on the stairs. He had heard this, so he openly took her computer away in front of her. Then he used it to call the teacher and said that she wanted to report the matter at the flower garden. After that, he went to the library to restore her homework. The next morning in class, Fang Li learned from the teacher that Luo Yan had submitted the homework for her. The teacher also told Fang Li to cherish her boyfriend. After that, at the library, Fang Li went to find Luo Yan. He wanted her to thank him, but she thought that the two of them helping each other like this was settled. So he demanded to find Chi-Yong and talk to him. To stop him, she had to buy him snacks. After that, she saw him browsing Jia-Yi's personal page, and she got angry and left. That afternoon, at the basketball court, he showed Su the photo that Su took in the laboratory. As it turned out, Su was the one who blew up the laboratory. So, the three of them, Luo Yan, Fang Li, and Su, went to see the teacher. At first, they even thought Su was being threatened, so he had to come and take the blame. So, Su had to recount that on that day, after he finished making ice cream, he left and forgot to close the liquid nitrogen tank. After that, Fang Li went in to make cleaning detergent. So, both of them got scolded by the teacher for coming to the laboratory to make such nonsense. The teacher even made Fang Li thank Luo Yan for clarifying this matter. After that, the two of them went together to take care of the flower garden. While working, she thought Luo Yan was a good person. He saw her staring at him and handed the water hose to her and even wanted her to thank him with a bunch of other snacks. At this time, in the dormitory, everyone was rushing to register for the talent classes. In the whole room, only Fang Li and Jia-E were assigned to the dance class. After that, while Fang Li was busy calculating her monthly expenses because she would receive a scholarship next month, when she was happy that she wouldn't have to worry about money next month, Chi-Yong suddenly appeared and dragged her to the notice board. As it turned out, her scholarship had been revoked. Chi-Yong saw that she was sad and asked her if she needed money. She could borrow it from him, but she refused Chi-Yang's kindness. The next morning, at the dance class, as soon as Fang Li entered the class, she was ridiculed by Jia-E as a mobile explosive. After that, the teacher came into the class and made everyone pair up into a male-female couple. Everyone had a partner except for Fang Li, so she had to practice dancing alone. Just then, Luo Yan appeared. Because he was late, he was grouped with Fang Li. But before anything else, she stepped on his foot, and when she looked up, she accidentally hit his nose. So, Luo Yan had to go to the bathroom to wash the blood off his nose. That afternoon, at the canteen, Fang Li was eating when Jia-E came to her, demanding money for buying costumes. She immediately asked the boss to pay her half a month's salary in advance, but he refused. That night, in the dormitory, Jia-E again reminded her about the costume money. Fang Li then asked her to see the costume that needed to be bought, so she tricked her and showed her a different one. Fang Li was still naive at this time and asked Chi Fei to sew her a set like that. The next morning, at the dance class, she realized that she had been tricked. Jia-E quickly said that she wanted to sew a new costume herself. So, the teacher checked her and Luo Yan's dance first, but because their expressions were stiff, the two of them were scolded by the teacher again. After that, the two of them continued to dance. Then, she sprained her ankle. Because he held her back, he tore her shirt. Fang Li left in embarrassment. Just outside, she met Chi-Yong. As the two of them were about to go home together, a girl ran up and hugged Chi-Yong. Her name was Iman, and she was Chi-Yang's high school friend. That afternoon, in the dormitory, when Jia-E just entered the room, Fang Li blamed her for sending her the wrong picture. Then she weaseled out of it and said that she only showed her a similar set, and that it was because she misunderstood Jia-Yi's intention that it turned out this way. That night, at the sushi restaurant, Fang Li worked very hard here. But when the store closed, the boss still forced her to deliver food. On the deserted road, she encountered two perverts. As soon as she turned around to run, she bumped into Luo Yan. He saw the two people and put his arm around her shoulder to let the two people know to leave. Today, he came to find her to pay her for another dance costume. Hearing this, she just said no need and left. The next night, at a coffee shop, Fang Li confided in Chi Fei about the dance costume. So, the next morning, Chi Fei went to the school and splashed water on Jia-E. Su saw this and jumped in to protect Jia-E. After that, everyone was taken away by security. Luo Yan saw Chi Fei's actions and praised Chi Fei very much, but was threatened by Chi Fei, saying that if he wanted to harm Fang Li, he would be beaten up by Chi Fei. That afternoon at the sushi restaurant, the boss saw Fang Li change shifts, and then he showed her attitude. Seeing this, she asked to quit her job, wanting him to pay her the salary for the past few days, but he refused. She saw that she couldn't reason with him, so she left. That night at the coffee shop, she asked Chi Fei to mend the dance dress. She also asked Chi Fei to help her find another job. After that, she said she wasn't planning to continue participating in the dance class. But now she's participating because she wants to let Jia Yi know that she's not so easily defeated. The next morning at the dance class, Fang Li still wore that dress to class. After that, Luo Yan also walked in with another dance outfit. He did this to look more like a couple with her. That day, the two danced very well together, and their expressions were no longer as stiff as before. That afternoon, she wanted to treat him to a meal. Coincidentally, the restaurant he chose was the sushi restaurant where she worked, because she wanted him to choose another restaurant. She told him that the boss here cheated her out of her salary, but after hearing this, he sat down at the table and ordered food without leaving. Seeing this, Fang Li wanted to pay first, but he stopped her. Luo Yan called the boss out and said that the money for today's meal would be deducted from Fang Li's salary. The boss refused to listen, and he started calling his friends to eat. Upon hearing this, the sushi restaurant owner could only take out the money and pay Fang Li's salary. That night, at Luo Yan's house, he searched for the high school yearbook and discovered that Fang Li was his tablemate. At this time, he wanted to find his high school memories. The next morning, Luo Yan and Fang Li went to the taekwondo class together. As it turned out, today was Shi Su and Qi Yang's match, and the result was that Qi Yang won. Luo Yan saw Fang Li carrying and giving water to Qi Yang. He became jealous and then demanded to fight Qi Yang. And the two fought evenly matched, but when both performed a high kick, Luo Yan was knocked to the ground, hit his head, and fainted. When he woke up, he found himself lying in the hospital. He was also disappointed when only Shi Su was by his side. The next morning in the classroom, Fang Li learned from Shi Su that Qi Yang had inhaled sulfur gas due to a failed experiment and had been hospitalized. So Fang Li brought food to the hospital to visit Qi Yang, but because she was afraid that Qi Yang would misunderstand, she kept pacing back and forth. During this time, Luo Yan was also having a medical examination. He saw her pacing back and forth in front of the examination room, thinking she was here to visit him, but when he came out, Fang Li had brought food to visit Qi Yang. Because he couldn't speak, the two texted back and forth, and she even gave him a notebook to copy. The two talked happily without knowing that Luo Yan was outside watching them. After that, at the dance class, Fang Li's mood was extremely good. Then, suddenly Luo Yan said that he had amnesia, but only lost the memory of his high school years. That afternoon, at the bubble tea shop, Fang Li got a job at Chi Fei's workplace, and today, Luo Yan also came to find her. He wanted her to tell him about the things in high school so that he could remember. So Chi Fei and she tricked Luo Yan together. She lied that he had borrowed 1,000 yuan from her. He didn't believe it, so he demanded a promissory note from her. Fang Li didn't have a note, so she could only sneak out. At this time, at the hospital, a man came to visit Qi Yang, and Fang Li, after working overtime, went to the hospital to pick up the lunchbox, but found her lunchbox in the trash can. That night, in front of the dormitory, Fang Li was sitting sadly when Luo Yan appeared. He saw that she was sad and comforted her, and she took food from the trash can for him to eat. Fang Li also suspected that Luo Yan did not really have amnesia. Because he was trying to prove that he really lost his memory, he transferred 1,000 yuan to her. So, the next morning, she made an appointment with him in front of a bubble tea shop. When he arrived, she signaled him to buy bubble tea before she would tell him about high school. Then the two went to eat. At this time, she told about the time the two met. At that time, her bicycle brakes were broken, so she fell to the ground. And Luo Yan smiled at her and got in the car and went straight to school. It turned out that that day was the first day he transferred to her school and also sat at the same table with Fang Li. From that day on, the teacher gave her the responsibility of caring for Luo Yan, and he has been noticed by other girls since his appearance. But because the girls were so noisy, the monitor of her class closed the door. Furthermore, seeing that Luo Yan attracted girls like this, she came up with a plan to make money, which was to charge the girls a fee to see Luo Yan. Otherwise, she would cover his face with a textbook. One morning, when she was on her way to school, she saw Luo Yan being bullied by a group of male students. She pretended to call the teacher, and after the bullies left, she continued to school. But after receiving her help, he told the homeroom teacher that she was collecting money from other girls. So Fang Li was scolded by the teacher, had her phone confiscated, and had her write a self-criticism. When she returned to the classroom, she blamed him for being ungrateful, unaware that Luo Yan lived in the same house as the homeroom teacher. That night, while he was having dinner with the teacher assigned him the task of returning the phone to Fang Li, because the teacher wanted the two to be closer. At Fang Li's house, she bought her grandmother a new pair of shoes with the money she got from the girls. Then he came to return the phone to her and was invited into the house by her grandmother to eat watermelon. While eating, the lights suddenly went out, and Fang Li stood on a chair to fix it. After that, she slipped, but he caught her, but because she kept asking him to put her down, he let her down on the chair. At this time, the lights came back on normally, back to the present. After Fang Li woke up, he escorted her back to the dormitory, and she returned the 1,000 yuan to him. But when mentioning the high school years, he felt that Fang Li was the one at fault, not him bullying her. Flashback to the past. At this time, Fang Li was being scolded by teacher Jiang because her English grade was at the bottom of the class. This was also overheard by Luo Yan. Then after school, he made her do his English homework for him. At the bookstore, he happened to see her reading a novel. So Luo Yan took an English novel and forced her to take him to the beach. Here she had to translate the story from English to Chinese for Luo Yan to read, and she was about to resist, but was bribed with snacks. Back in the present, Luo Yan is participating in a psychology class. After the class, he kept the teacher to ask about his amnesia, but the teacher could only advise him to listen to the stories from Fang Li. That noon at the canteen, Fang Li was eating when Su and Qi Yang came to her. Su originally wanted to team up with Qi Yang for an English assignment, but learned that he was already teamed up with Fang Li. Su left to eat elsewhere. Then Qi Yang invited Fang Li to watch an English documentary tonight. So she went to buy lipstick to make herself more beautiful to go to the movies with Qi Yang. Suddenly, Luo Yan appeared to help Fang Li choose lipstick. But after he knew that she was buying lipstick to go to the movies with Qi Yang, he said the color of lipstick she chose was very ugly and then left. That night at the cinema, Fang Li hadn't watched much before she fell asleep. Seeing her almost fall, Qi Yang supported her head, and then Fang Li also leaned into his shoulder. Qi Yang at this time, because the distance was too close and wanted to kiss her, but Fang Li woke up right now, just when the movie was over. So Qi Yang took her back to the dormitory. The next morning at the dance class, today was the day Fang Li and Luo Yan cleaned, so she stopped him from sneaking away first. Then the two started cleaning. Fang Li was too short to wipe the entire mirror. Seeing this, Luo Yan helped her wipe. Suddenly Qi Yang appeared. He saw her cleaning and said he would wait for her outside. Fang Li saw that the work was almost done, so she asked Luo Yan to do the rest. Unexpectedly, Luo Yan kicked over the bucket of water to make her stay and clean. Fang Li saw this and scolded him in the face. While scolding, she accidentally kicked the mop and made the stick hit her nose. So she held her bleeding nose out. Qi Yang saw this and took Fang Li to the infirmary. Luo Yan also worriedly went to find her. Unexpectedly saw her being cared for by Qi Yang. Until she discovered Luo Yan, he coldly left. At this time, in the schoolyard, Jia Yi saw Qi Fei delivering bubble tea. She forced Qi Fei to apologize for splashing water the other day, but Qi Fei refused and left. At this time, Su also came over and saw Jia Yi was angry and said he would avenge her. So Jia Yi took Su to the shop where Qi Fei worked. She wanted him to flirt with Qi Fei, but when Qi Fei agreed to love Su, he had to break up immediately. If Su could do it, Jia Yi would agree to date him. So Su agreed to do this. The next morning at the psychology class, Luo Yan met a girl named Xiao Wei. She wanted to help him learn more about psychology. Then, at the coffee shop, he said that he was the type who was difficult to express emotions. Even if he did good things, people would misunderstand that he was doing bad things. So Xiao Wei advised Luo Yan to smile more and it would be fine. At this time, Fang Li accidentally saw it. Said then done. That afternoon, Luo Yan came to find Fang Li. He gave a smile to say sorry to her. He saw that the background of her magazine was a bit wrong, so he wanted to help her fix it, but instead Fang Li had to help him look more sympathetic. She thought he was trying to change for Xiao Wei, so she agreed. The first step was to practice smiling. She said he only needed to think of the person he liked to be able to smile brightly. The second was to learn how to praise others. After that, Luo Yan also helped her fix the magazine background. That night, to thank Luo Yan, she invited him to eat instant noodles, and while eating, he also helped Fang Li fix her hair. Suddenly, Xiao Wei appeared, and Fang Li called Luo Yan outside. She told him to quickly use the method she taught in the afternoon to talk to Xiao Wei, but he angrily scolded her for meddling. The next morning at the hospital, Qi Yang's father was hospitalized due to a serious illness, and he was bearing the burden of his father's medical expenses. At this time, Yiman also came to find Qi Yang, and she helped him pay for his father's medical expenses, but in exchange, he had to go abroad to study with her. The next morning at school, Fang Li's online magazine had a problem, and while she didn't know what to do, Luo Yan told her to try using the paper version to submit. Hearing this, she thought it was a good idea, and she praised him for being smart. The next morning at the library, she found out that her magazine ranked first, and happily went to tell Luo Yan this news. She also wanted to treat him to a meal, then she chose a pretty good restaurant, and when the two were about to go eat, she saw Qi Yang waiting for her. So Fang Li made an appointment with Luo Yan for another time. She also told Qi Yang about inviting Luo Yan to dinner, because Qi Yang also contributed to the magazine assignment, so he also wanted to invite Luo Yan. At this time, at the bubble tea shop, Su, wanting to get to know Chi Fei, deliberately left his wallet behind and left, but he didn't expect her to return the wallet to the wrong person. To get his wallet back, Su chased after the man, and Chi Fei saw this and chased after him, but when she found Su, she saw him covered in injuries. Chi Fei also apologized to him for carelessly returning things to other people. At this time, Su was going to call the police. And Chi Fei originally wanted to stop him for fear that the boss would find out, but then let Su call. Not only that, she also gave him her phone number for future contact. That noon at a restaurant, Fang Li was eating with Luo Yan and Qi Yang. And the whole time the two men looked at each other with dagger eyes. Luo Yan saw her sitting close to Qi Yang and got jealous. He planned to pull her over to his side, but Qi Yang stopped him. Fang Li, not wanting the two to fight, could only pull the chair out and sit in the middle. That night on the way back to the dormitory, Luo Yan found her to ask about her relationship with Qi Yang, but because she didn't explain clearly, she just agreed casually to get it over with. The next morning at the dance class, Fang Li learned from the teacher that Luo Yan had taken leave today. At noon at the canteen, she planned to sit near Luo Yan, but he took his food and left. After school, she ran to find him, and because she didn't know what reason to use to find him, she used the dance class group as an excuse, but he didn't care and left. That afternoon at the riverside, Su saw that Luo Yan was sad, so he invited him to Chi Fei's place to hang out. Su also found out that today was not Fang Li's shift, so he was willing to go. At this time, at the bubble tea shop, Chi Fei had something to do and asked Fang Li to cover her shift. Luo Yan walked into the shop, and seeing Fang Li, he wanted to turn around and leave. Seeing this, Su still advised him that since he had already come here, he should go inside. But when she brought the drinks up, she accidentally touched his hand, so Luo Yan left. That night at Luo Yan's house, he went online to find a way to hate someone, which was to only look at the person's flaws. The next morning, he evaluated Fang Li. He saw that every part of her was a flaw, but when he saw Qi Yang sitting close to her, he was sure that Qi Yang was her biggest flaw. Later on the way back to school, Qi Yang invited Fang Li to dinner, so she asked Chi Fei to help her with makeup and choose clothes. That night at the restaurant, she looked at the restaurant menu and didn't dare to order anything because it was too expensive. At the same time, Chi Fei met Su and Luo Yan on the road. Chi Fei recalled when she went to play tennis with Su, she saw Qi Yang hugging Yiman, and also told that Fang Li had dinner with Qi Yang. At this time at the restaurant, Qi Yang said, "Today, I invited you to dinner to have a farewell party because Yiman and I are about to go abroad to study. I have always had feelings for Fang Li, but today, I still have to leave her." Then, just as Qi Yang got on the bus, Luo Yan was also looking for her everywhere. At this time, Fang Li was heartbroken and walking down the street crying. And Luo Yan saw her like that and picked her up and took her away. He took her to a road and then told her to look at the stars because whenever Luo Yan had something sad, he would go to look at the stars. After Fang Li finished crying, she suddenly said happy birthday to him. Luo Yan was a little surprised, but still comforted her not to be too sad about being heartbroken. Then he took her back to the dormitory. At this time, she bought a tree at a roadside shop and then ran back to give it to Luo Yan. He didn't say anything, but hugged her tightly and said thank you. Going back to the past, on the day of the parent-teacher meeting, because Luo Yan didn't live near his relatives, no one came to the meeting for him. Fang Li saw him sadly playing basketball, so she invited him to go to the beach because every time she was sad, she would go to the beach to have the waves wash away her worries. Fang Li discovered that there was a rack of dried fish nearby. She couldn't help but steal a piece. Fang Li was going to share it with Luo Yan, but he hated the fishy smell, so he kept running away. And in the end, the two were chased out of the dried fish rack by a dog. Then Fang Li invited him to go swimming. Seeing that Luo Yan wouldn't go down to the sea, she splashed seawater on his face. She ran away quickly, but in the end was caught by Luo Yan. Returning to the present in the library, Fang Li was remembering the trip to the beach between her and Qi Yang. But now Qi Yang was about to go abroad to study, so there was no time to go to the beach with her. That night, Fang Li was walking back to the dormitory when she saw Qi Yang's personal page posting photos of playing with Yiman, so Fang Li officially had a broken heart. The next morning at the stadium, Fang Li was running long-distance training, making Luo Yan remember that in the canteen. She ate very little, making him think she was cheated out of money, so she didn't have money to buy food, and the post on her personal page was also very awkward. Su and Chi Fei, seeing her like that, planned for her to cry, because only when she cried could she get out of the heartbroken state. That night at the restaurant, those three took turns making Fang Li drunk, but she quickly realized the intentions of the three. Luo Yan, seeing this, also said that she had been living like a joke for the past few days. So Fang Li cried and left, and Chi Fei chased after Fang Li. Chi Fei at this time was upset because she kept hiding her sadness. And before, two people always shared joys and sorrows with each other. but now she just suppressed herself, Chi Fei said while crying. But in return was an apology for disturbing Fang Li. The next morning, at the bubble tea shop, Fang Li came to see the work shift this week, but found that Chi Fei had taken a week off. That afternoon at the stadium, Fang Li continued running, and Luo Yan came to ask her why she blocked him. Then Fang Li just said that she liked it, so she blocked him. Then she continued running, but unfortunately, she fell. And Luo Yan saw this, and carried her into the shop canteen. Nearby, he gently bandaged her wound, and seeing that Fang Li was still sad, Luo Yan took her to the aquarium to play. Seeing her happy look, he couldn't help but take a sneaky photo of her. But Fang Li found out that he was taking a sneaky photo of her, and asked him to follow her and take pictures for her. After playing for a while, Luo Yan let her hear the sound of fish crying in the sea. Fang Li heard it for a while and cried like rain. She also leaned on his shoulder to cry. Then she self-deprecatingly said that she was not talented, not beautiful, and didn't know how to dress up. So Chi Yang didn't choose her. Luo Yan, hearing this, said that she was a kind girl, and he also advised her to apologize to Chi Fei, so she wouldn't lose a good friend like Chi Fei. Fang Li was very moved by Luo Yan's words, and he let her lean on his chest to feel more secure. Then Luo Yan gave Fang Li a dolphin keychain. The next morning at the bubble tea shop, Fang Li saw Chi Fei come back to work and started talking to her. But this time Chi Fei was still angry, and Fang Li saw this and wittily apologized to Chi Fei. Seeing her cry, Chi Fei couldn't be angry anymore, so the two hugged each other and cried, and the two made up. That afternoon was the 5,000-meter race, and because of heartbreak, Fang Li had rashly signed up to participate, and as a result, she won last place in the competition, but those three still congratulated her for running all 5,000 meters. That night at the movie theater, Su and Chi Fei went to see a horror movie together, but Su kept screaming loudly in fear, to the point that Chi Fei had to cover his mouth. The next morning was a basketball game, and because Su was also participating, Luo Yan, Chi Fei, and Fang Li all went to cheer him on. Chi Fei saw the cute dolphin keychain, so she asked her where she bought it, but she was embarrassed and didn't dare to say that Luo Yan gave it to her. After the competition, the group went to the canteen to celebrate because Su's team won. Chi Fei saw that she and Luo Yan were acting strange, so she invited Su to get cake so that the two could talk privately. Because she was too shy, Fang Li just buried her head and ate, and as a result, she got hiccups from eating too fast. At this time, he asked her if she liked him, and then Fang Li's hiccups stopped. The next morning, he invited her to eat together again, so she prepared for a long time in front of the mirror, but when he was walking towards her, a stranger came to call him to go somewhere. That night it rained heavily when Fang Li was walking on the street, and she found Luo Yan walking in the rain. Then the two went to a barber shop. Because the shop was closed today, Luo Yan called and blamed them for being closed on the wrong day. Seeing Luo Yan making a fuss, she had to apologize to the shop owner in his place. A while later at Luo Yan's house, Fang Li helped him cut his hair, and after cutting it, he calmed down. Then, while she was looking for food in Luo Yan's house, he went out to the sofa and fell asleep. So she carefully covered him with a blanket. Then she went outside and saw his father coming. At a coffee shop, his father and Fang Li were sitting and talking to each other. It turned out that today was the birthday of Luo Yan's half-brother. Today, he was called back home to celebrate his brother's birthday. And there was a quarrel, and he left. So now, seeing her coming out of Luo Yan's house, he asked her to take care of him. His father also talked about the reason why Luo Yan had amnesia. It was because he was beaten too badly, leading to brain damage. Then he asked her to return the wallet to Luo Yan for him. Early the next morning at the bubble tea shop, Chi Fei, because she borrowed her hand cream, found Luo Yan's wallet, so Fang Li had to tell Chi Fei everything. After hearing all her story, Chi Fei was sure that Fang Li liked Luo Yan, but she was afraid that he wouldn't like her, afraid that he would leave her like Chi Yang. That morning at school, he saw Fang Li and bought another bottle of water for her. Fang Li also took this opportunity to return the wallet to him, and Luo Yan used the excuse that her lipstick was smudged to touch her lips, and after rubbing it for a while, the lipstick was really smudged. Then on the rooftop, Chi Fei, knowing that Luo Yan had given her water, came up with a way to test him, which was to pretend to be dating someone who didn't exist. That morning in the classroom, when she was about to go home, someone brought flowers and said they were a gift from her boyfriend. That noon at the canteen, while Fang Li and Chi Fei were about to eat, Luo Yan came up and asked her about that boyfriend. Fang Li said that he was a senior in her high school, and he was currently studying abroad. Luo Yan, hearing this, only congratulated Fang Li on finding love, and then went elsewhere. Chi Fei saw this and told Fang Li to continue posting dating photos to make him jealous. And after school at a men's clothing store, Chi Fei took a photo of her with a mannequin, and then she posted the edited photo on her personal page. The two even named the virtual boyfriend Mr. L. At the same time, Luo Yan, with Su, suspected that Fang Li's boyfriend was not real. Su, hearing this, also felt suspicious, and he even thought that Fang Li set up this matter to test whether Luo Yan liked her or not. That afternoon, Su even prepared concert tickets for the two. That night, he received news from his father that his mother would be visiting him today, so he abandoned Fang Li at the concert, but in the end, his mother didn't show up. The next morning on the rooftop, she asked Chi Fei to do a proposal with her, with that virtual boyfriend. That afternoon in the flower garden, she made an appointment with Luo Yan to ask him if he wanted her to accept the senior's proposal. And hearing this, he angrily said that she was very suitable for that senior, and even wished her well. Fang Li, hearing this, sadly left, and then Su invited the whole group to go ice skating. Here, they accidentally met Shang Zhe, the senior from her high school who had just returned from studying abroad, and Chi Fei immediately pushed Fang Li over to Shang Zhe. Luo Yan thought he looked familiar, but couldn't remember who he was. After ice skating, Shang Zhe and Fang Li kept talking to each other, and Shang Zhe even tied her shoelaces for her. At this time, Luo Yan's jealousy had reached its peak, and Chi Fei had to quickly pull Fang Li away. In the water area, Chi Fei told her that the virtual boyfriend she described was very similar to Shang Zhe, so Luo Yan must have thought that this senior was her boyfriend. And at this point, Chi Fei could only ask Fang Li to persuade Shang Zhe to pretend to be her boyfriend. Then the two went to give water to everyone. After giving the water, Chi Fei told Shang Zhe to take Fang Li to play separately. On the way back to the dormitory, Chi Fei told Su and Luo Yan about Shang Zhe, and that in high school he was being fought over by the chemistry teacher and the PE teacher because they both wanted Shang Zhe to take their subject exams. In the end, he chose to participate in both chemistry and PE. After finishing the story, Chi Fei quickly went back to her work, and at the same time, at a coffee shop, Shang Zhe learned from Fang Li that Luo Yan had amnesia. At this time, Shang Zhe also told about Luo Yan's high school years from his perspective. At first, he thought Luo Yan was just a pretty boy, so he didn't care. And the second time they met was on a basketball court, when Luo Yan accidentally stepped on Shang Zhe's shoes. Although Luo Yan apologized, Shang Zhe's friend said that these were limited edition shoes. So Luo Yan analyzed that these shoes seemed to be fake, and Shang Zhe at this time could only say that these shoes were a birthday gift, so he didn't know they were fake. Then his friends knew that Luo Yan was calculating the trajectory of the ball with a computer, so they abandoned him and surrounded Luo Yan. And the third time they met was in a chemistry study session. Luo Yan was studying with the 12th graders and could solve the difficult problem that Shang Zhe couldn't solve, and then he fell asleep in class. The next morning during PE class, Luo Yan asked Fang Li to buy water at the canteen and forced her to buy it within 5 minutes. And Shang Zhe at the canteen realized Luo Yan's intention, which was to make her practice running to pass the PE test. But when she bought the water back, Luo Yan asked her to buy a different kind, and he also induced her to open the Coca-Cola bottle, making Fang Li wet all over, and she still had to run to buy water for him. After PE class, Luo Yan went back to class and saw a bunch of snacks on the table. Knowing that it was from the class bell next door, he didn't hesitate to give all the snacks to Fang Li, and then he asked for the story that she translated and saw that she slightly touched and broke her fingernail. That night, at Teacher John's house, he learned that Fang Li only had her and her grandmother, so he ran to the drugstore to buy vitamin for her, and coincidentally, this drugstore was Shang Zhe's family's. And knowing that Luo Yan came in to buy vitamin, Shang Zhe also felt strange because Luo Yan's health was quite good, but in the end, he still sold him the biggest kind. That afternoon at Fang Li's house, she had just returned home when she saw Luo Yan here, and he said that someone had brought him gifts again, so he brought them to give to her to eat. Then Luo Yan discovered that Fang Li brought a lot of empty cans back, and it turned out that she used the water cans to make handicrafts, so she could sell them for money. After he left, Fang Li took all the food he brought to the shop to sell it back, and she also met Shang Zhe here. And Shang Zhe also saw the vitamin box that Luo Yan bought in the afternoon. But he didn't tell Fang Li, but just asked her to take it home and drink it. Back in the present, Fang Li was reprimanding Chi Fei, because today, Chi Fei had to go to an audition. Chi Fei wanted to act out a motorcycle driving scene, but was wearing high heels. So Fang Li exchanged shoes with Chi Fei, and then she struggled to walk in high heels back to the dormitory. Luckily, Shang Zhe appeared at this time, and seeing her having difficulty walking, Shang Zhe took the initiative to wait for her to return to the dormitory. When she got back, Shang Zhe even helped her take off her helmet, and just at this time Luo Yan appeared, and he was about to say that she didn't need to return the concert tickets, but she dumped the entire bag out to find the tickets to return to him. And at this time Shang Zhe picked up the textbooks, and when he took it, She took one notebook away, and after Shang Zhe left, Luo Yan and Fang Li argued again. That afternoon at the dormitory, while Fang Li was hanging clothes, Shang Zhe called, and he asked her to come to the Academy of Music tomorrow to get her notebook back, and the next afternoon at the Academy of Music, Fang Li met Shang Zhe to get her notebook back, and she also took this opportunity to ask him to pretend to be her boyfriend. Going back to the past, Fang Li at this time was practicing forging a signature to write a leave application, because today there was a running competition and also an English test. While she was bored, Luo Yan came to call her to the sports field, so she still had to obediently go down to take the PE test. That afternoon at the classroom, Fang Li, because she thought she did poorly on the test, didn't dare to go see the scores. And Chi Fei ran over to report the scores to Fang Li. Then, at the swimming pool, Fang Li and Chi Fei were both happy because her English and PE scores were very good. And at this time, Chi Fei suspected that Luo Yan liked her. So he made her translate books and run to buy all sorts of things, but Fang Li firmly didn't believe it because she thought Luo Yan was just bullying her. At the same time in the schoolyard, Luo Yan was cherishing the toy Fang Li made when the class bell appeared, asking him why he threw away her food and cherished Fang Li's stuff. To prevent the rumors that he and she were dating early from spreading, he had to throw away her toy, and unexpectedly, this scene was seen by Fang Li. Returning to the present, Luo Yan went to the dormitory to find Fang Li and learned that she was at the Academy of Music, and at this time, at Shang Zhe's place. Fang Li suddenly found out that she was on her period, so Shang Zhe went to the convenience store to buy sanitary napkins for her. He was even praised by the salesman as a good boyfriend. At the Academy of Music, Luo Yan came here to find Fang Li, and he told her that Shang Zhe was a dangerous person. Although he couldn't remember anything related to Shang Zhe, he felt that Shang Zhe was very dangerous. And just at this time, Shang Zhe came back to give sanitary napkins to Fang Li, and Luo Yan, seeing him caring about her like this, was also discouraged and left. That night at a restaurant, Shi Su invited Chi Fei to eat because he knew she had failed the audition. To make Chi Fei happy, Shi Su said that he was a buffet assassin. So Chi Fei ordered 20 portions of meat, making Shi Su turn green. After a while, Shi Su, although he couldn't eat anymore, still strongly said that he hadn't eaten enough, and she drunkenly said thank you to him for going out to eat with her. And then she confided in him about how she always had to try to pretend to be strong, even though inside she was still a weak girl like other girls. But in order to pursue her dream of becoming famous, she had to try to become really strong, and seeing Chi Fei like this, Shi Su could only comfort her. The next morning at school, Luo Yan was making a game about love. So the teacher wanted him to ask a female friend to try it out and give her opinion. Then he found Shi Su discussing whether Shang Zhe and Fang Li were really lovers, and he said that the two didn't post matching avatars, matching clothes, or couple photos on their personal pages. And most especially, those two had never had a date. At the same time, in front of the dormitory, Shang Zhe was asking Fang Li to film a video about high school, and Luo Yan appeared, and he said that he was also assigned to film a video, so he came here to ask her. So the three formed a group, and the beginning was filmed by Shang Zhe, and the entire script was taken care of by Fang Li. Luo Yan didn't like a few lines, but Fang Li ignored him because the script was written by her and couldn't be changed. That afternoon, while walking home, Fang Li saw an ice cream truck, so she invited the other two to eat together, and today there was a program for couples, so she bought a couple's portion and a single portion, so she ate the single portion, and the couple's portion would be for Luo Yan and Shang Zhe. The next morning at the women's dormitory, there was a fire, and Luo Yan, thinking that Fang Li was still in the room, ran into the dormitory to find her. At this time, Fang Li had just gone to get something. She knew that Luo Yan had risked his life to save her, so afterward, Fang Li invited Luo Yan for a coffee to thank him. And then he asked Shi Su, Chi Fei, and Fang Li to try out the game he made. But no one liked it because they had to explain the code even when playing a love game. Everyone, in order to help him have more of a sense of love, asked her to go on a date with him. And then when he took her back to the dormitory, he also asked her to try dating Fang Li. Going back to the past, at a PE session, Fang Li was bullied by male classmates, and those kids even kicked the ball in her face. And luckily Luo Yan caught it for her. The rumor that the two were in love spread even wider, to the point that the two had to talk on paper in class. And unexpectedly, the message was read by Teacher Jiang, and from a normal dialogue. Through the teacher's voice, it became an intimate dialogue between lovers. So the two was sent to the parents' meeting, and after school, Luo Yan wanted to apologize to her. But Fang Li angrily left, and then Luo Yan rushed into Shang Zhe's class and demanded to hit him, because Shang Zhe had snitched to Teacher Jiang. And at that time, Teacher Jiang appeared and drove Luo Yan back to class. Back in the present of the coffee shop, Fang Li asked Chi Fei for love advice. And because Chi Fei said that when you're in love, you have to invite them to dinner or give them gifts. The next morning, she brought lunch for Luo Yan to eat. After school, she accidentally met Shang Zhe in the elevator, and he wanted to invite her to participate in some street performance. But she refused because she was busy going out with Luo Yan. And then because there were too many people in the elevator, Fang Li accidentally left a lipstick stain on Shang Zhe's shirt. She then embarrassedly said that she wanted to wash it for him, but Shang Zhe refused, saying he could wash it himself. At this time, Luo Yan appeared, and he said that Fang Li was his girlfriend and helped her apologize to Shang Zhe. Then at the park, Luo Yan asked her about the lipstick stain on Shang Zhe's shirt, and Fang Li got up and described the scene of her leaving the lipstick stain on Shang Zhe's shirt, and after explaining, she gave Luo Yan a chicken sausage. And of course he praised the food Fang Li cooked as delicious. That night at a restaurant, Su invited Chi Fei here, and while the two were flirting, they unconsciously drank a lot of alcohol. And when the two were completely drunk, Su started to confess to Chi Fei, but before Su could finish speaking, Chi Fei collapsed because she was too drunk, and then the two looked at each other and exchanged their first kiss. The next morning at a coffee shop, Su made an appointment with Chi Fei here to mention yesterday's kiss. But Chi Fei pretended that she didn't remember anything to entice Su to confess. Unexpectedly, he was too stupid to realize it. So Chi Fei left, and at this time in the laboratory, Fang Li created a bunch of leaf-shaped bookmarks. After finishing, Shang Zhe came to her, and he asked her for one to paste into the sheet music. So she let him choose one. And luckily, he didn't choose the heart shape that she was going to give to Luo Yan. Said then done, she quickly went to give the heart-shaped leaf to Luo Yan. Then he learned from Su that giving handmade things has a great meaning. Then he had to comfort Su's little heart. Remembering the past, Luo Yan, in order to prevent Fang Li from being invited to see the parents, admitted to teacher Jiang that he had a crush on her. So after that day, the teacher told Fang Li to go back to her old seat. Back to the present, he found out that Shang Zhe also had a leaf-shaped bookmark. Knowing that Fang Li had also given it to him, he got jealous and took it away. That night, he was also late for their date, making Fang Li wait for him a long time. But when they met, he blamed her for giving things to Shang Zhe, and even threw the leaf she gave him on the ground and left. After that, she lit the fireworks she had prepared and sat there crying by herself. The next day, at the cafeteria, Su found out he threw away the gift Fang Li gave him and got angry, giving him a piece of her mind. But Luo Yan still thought he was right and accidentally brushed past her. Su then spoke up for Luo Yan, but Fang Li still angrily left. On the way, she was on the phone with Chi Fei, bad-mouthing Luo Yan, and accidentally bumped into Shang Zhe. He then invited her to play golf with him, and he even generously invited Chi Fei along too. The next morning at the golf course, Fang Li was surprised that Chi Fei knew how to play golf. Shang Zhe noticed that she was having trouble hitting the ball and patiently guided Fang Li. Chi Fei, seeing Shang Zhe being so gentle with Fang Li, wanted to set them up. After the three of them finished playing, he even enthusiastically went to buy food for Chi Fei and Fang Li. After he left, Chi Fei advised her to rethink her feelings for Luo Yan, because, in Chi Fei's opinion, a gentle man like Shang Zhe was more suitable for Fang Li. Afterwards, Shang Zhe drove her back to the dorm. There, Fang Li took the initiative to split the expenses for the day, because she wanted to make it clear to Shang Zhe that she only saw him as a friend. The next afternoon, in psychology class, Xiao Wei invited Luo Yan to dinner. At the same time at school, Shang Zhe was inviting Fang Li to his school's evening gala. Although Shang Zhe gave her many reasons to go with him, Fang Li still refused. Later at the diner, Xiao Wei and Luo Yan were eating when they ran into Shang Zhe and Fang Li, who had also come there. So the four of them joined a table to eat together. The atmosphere at the table was awkward, and Shang Zhe even deliberately picked food for Fang Li, making Luo Yan jealous and just picking at his food. So he and Fang Li argued again, and he even said he would research relationships with Xiao Wei. Hearing this, she agreed to go to the music gala with Shang Zhe. Afterwards, when they had both returned to school, Luo Yan couldn't help but ask Fang Li if she really wanted to go to the gala. The next morning at an audition for a famous movie, Chi Fei was acting with another male actor, but because she had been starving herself to lose weight, she mixed up the movie lines with the names of food dishes. Then, because she was so hungry, Chi Fei fainted in the audition room. Afterwards at a restaurant, Su, in order to comfort Chi Fei, ordered a table full of her favorite dishes. At this time, Su also confessed his feelings to her, and so the two officially became a couple. At the same time on campus, Fang Li was listening to Shang Zhe sing, but in her mind, she was thinking of Luo Yan. After listening to Shang Zhe sing, she took the initiative to buy him water. At this moment, Luo Yan came to find Fang Li, and he started to stir up trouble between them. Fang Li saw Fang Li return and deliberately provoked Luo Yan to say negative things about Fang Li. So she and Luo Yan argued again, and she even demanded to end their friendship. Afterwards, Luo Yan was comforted by Xiao Wei, who advised him to make up with Fang Li if he didn't want to see her with someone else. That night, while scrolling through social media, he saw Fang Li post a picture of Fang Li on his personal page. Then Luo Yan ran out to the swimming pool. After losing his memory, he was always afraid of water, but for her, he decided to get in the water to try and regain his memories. In Luo Yan's memory, he saw Fang Li appear when he was attacked. At the same time, at the evening gala, Fang Li stood in front of everyone and confessed his feelings to Fang Li. Seeing that she wanted to refuse, he grabbed her hand and wouldn't let go. At this moment, Luo Yan appeared and pulled Fang Li away. Fang Li chased after them, blaming her for breaking up with him because of Luo Yan. So Luo Yan rushed in and started fighting with Fang Li. When Luo Yan had the upper hand, Fang Li's underlings held him back. He was jealous because Luo Yan had surpassed him in high school, so he was enjoying beating Luo Yan. Suddenly, Fang Li appeared with a fire extinguisher, and she sprayed it at Fang Li's group. At the bus stop, she apologized to Luo Yan for wrongly blaming him, and so the two made up. She also promised to help him test the game he had just made. The next morning at Luo Yan's house, he woke up smiling. He even drew a heart on the mirror while brushing his teeth, and then he happily went to take care of the plant that Fang Li had given him. Later at school, she avoided him as soon as she saw him, but accidentally bumped into someone else. He ran to help her pick up her books and notebooks. Then he took her to the private study room to study. After they sat for a while, Luo Yan started to want to hold Fang Li's hand, but he was too shy, so he ran out to get some air. When he came back, he brought a bunch of snacks. At the same time, at Chi Fei's school, she and Shirsu were playing games at the game booths, and the two immediately participated in the couple's Eat the Cracker game to win. Chi Fei kissed Shirsu on the lips. The result was that they won a prize, a stuffed bear. At this time, two of Jia Yi's friends caught Shirsu, and he hid the fact that Chi Fei was his girlfriend, making her angry and leave. That night, at the lucky egg vending machine, Fang Li got an egg with a fortune inside, so she immediately prayed to the heavens and Buddha to help her pass her exams. Luo Yan then took Fang Li's hand and prayed. Afterwards, he confessed his feelings to her, but before Fang Li could agree, Shirsu ran up and hugged him, crying. So she ran away because she was too embarrassed. Later at a restaurant, Luo Yan had to sit and listen to Shirsu confide in him. At this time, Shirsu asked him if it was possible to love two people at the same time, because Shirsu seemed to have feelings for both Jia Yi and Chi Fei. Afterwards at the dorm, Mo Li suddenly brought cake to her. It turned out that Mo Li saw that she was good at studying and wanted her to share her notes. So Fang Li gave her notes to Mo Li. The next morning at school, Jia Yi saw Fang Li enter the private study room and locked the door, trapping her inside. Inside, Fang Li discovered that the door was locked and asked Luo Yan if he had another key. But because he wanted to be with her, he lied and said that he didn't bring it. At the same time, Chi Fei and Shirsu were hanging out when Jia Yi caught them. She then texted Shirsu about their previous plan, but Shirsu didn't dare to reply. That night at the library, Luo Yan hid his head on the bookshelf while getting a book for her, so Fang Li blew on it to make it feel better, making Luo Yan blush with embarrassment. The next morning, Luo Yan woke up first, but when Fang Li woke up, he pretended to be asleep. Seeing him sleeping soundly, she took her coat and put it over him. At this moment, she saw the key in his coat pocket. Luo Yan immediately explained, but Fang Li didn't believe him. She saw that he had lied to her and wouldn't give her back the key, causing her to fall on the chair while trying to get it back. So the two of them locked eyes. Suddenly, the teacher walked in, thinking they were doing something inappropriate in here, and the teacher scolded them both. Today was Fang Li's exam day, so Luo Yan held the teacher back so she could run to the exam. Afterwards in the exam room, after everyone finished the exam, Mo Li came to ask Fang Li where she had gone yesterday, and thanked her for the review notes. Seeing that Mo Li did much better on the exam than Fang Li, Shirsu also asked her to help him review. Over here at the library, Jia Yi saw the library door open and ran over to see inside, where she saw Luo Yan. She quickly left, but Luo Yan still stopped her. She knew that her locking Fang Li up had been exposed, so she hugged Luo Yan, hoping that he would forgive her. Unexpectedly, Fang Li, along with Mo Li and Shirsu, saw this scene. She was so shocked that she left. The next morning at school, Luo Yan came to bring her water and asked her to go out, but she was still angry and left. The next morning, both Fang Li and Mo Li arrived late to the exam because someone had turned off their alarms this morning, so now neither of them could enter the exam. That night, Fang Li sadly went to the lucky egg machine, frantically opening the egg boxes. At that moment, Luo Yan walked over. He scolded her again because this was vandalism of public property, but she continued to take the eggs, not getting a lucky fortune. She frantically slammed into the lucky egg machine. Luo Yan then hugged Fang Li to help her calm down. When she calmed down, she and Luo Yan cleaned up the pile of lucky eggs. He didn't just scold Fang Li, but also made her laugh. At the same time at the dorm, Chi Fei ran to Jia Yi, scolding her for turning off Fang Li's alarm. Su also ran here. So Jia Yi knew that Su and Chi Fei were in love. She then brought up the previous deal. If Su could win over Chi Fei, then he would have a chance to date Jia Yi. Su immediately explained that the deal was real, but he had truly fallen in love with Chi Fei. Of course, Chi Fei didn't believe him. She splashed water on his face and left. Afterwards, Chi Fei and Fang Li accidentally met. The two hugged each other and cried miserably. Neither of them expected that they would be harmed by Jia Yi in this way. So Fang Li and Chi Fei decided to go home to relax. The next morning at Fang Li's hometown, she was happily enjoying the sunshine. But then she thought about the money she had to pay to retake the exam and became sad. Later during breakfast, Fang Li's grandmother scolded her for not going to the exam. She thought Fang Li wasn't paying attention to her studies because she was too busy with romance. She immediately explained that she wasn't in love with anyone and that the exam was just an accident. At the same time at a diner, Luo Yan used a stuffed bear to replace Fang Li and eat with him. But when Luo Yan got home, he also had to comfort Su. Then they both lamented the coldness of girls because both Chi Fei and Fang Li had cut off contact with them. Suddenly, Luo Yan felt that Fang Li had probably gone home. So that night in Longxing, while she was looking at the moon, she received a message from Luo Yan. He said that if she wished to the moon that she wanted to see him right away, he would appear. Hearing this, she quickly ran downstairs and discovered that Luo Yan was standing in front of the gate. Before she could be happy for too long, she discovered that her grandmother was coming home. So Fang Li brought Luo Yan to her room to hide. Because there was nothing to eat in her room, she gave him preserved plum wine to dip. The two ate the fruit inside together. So that night, they both got drunk from eating the fruit. The next morning, when Luo Yan woke up, Fang Li's grandmother had already entered her room and discovered that the two were sleeping together. Seeing this, she immediately fainted. After that, at the hospital, as soon as her grandmother woke up, she kicked Fang Li out. Luo Yan saw her come out and immediately apologized to her. He also wanted to let her grandmother calm down, and then he would explain things to her. But Fang Li was afraid that her grandmother wouldn't accept it and her blood pressure would spike. Hearing this, he handed her a lunchbox. Unexpectedly, Fang Li knocked the lunchbox over and told Luo Yan to leave. Then he sadly went home. On the way home, he met teacher Jiang. So the teacher took him to his house to eat dinner. From the teacher, he learned the reason why her grandmother hated him. In high school, he often bullied Fang Li and also caused her to become a troublemaking student in front of the teacher. Then he listened to the teacher and went back to school to search for his memories. But only Fang Li's image appeared in his mind. Afterwards, he waited for the bus at the bookstore, and teacher Jiang ran over to give him the gift that Luo Yan's mother gave him when he was in 10th grade. Luo Yan remembered that he had thrown the gift in the trash. Afterwards, Fang Li knew that he was sad because his mother didn't come, so she tried her best to make him happy. She even sang while taking a shower in the rain. But when they both went back into the classroom, Fang Li gave a gift back to Luo Yan. Unexpectedly, he snapped at her. He not only cursed and scolded her, but also left, leaving her at the school. Back in the present, Luo Yan came to school to find Fang Li and discovered that she was sitting by the swimming pool. She saw him and apologized for the words she said in the hospital, and he then took her hand and apologized for his previous actions. Then the two hugged each other and admitted their feelings for each other. So the two officially became a couple. The next morning at the library, Luo Yan gave Fang Li a thermos. Then he took out a similar thermos from his bag with the words "I love you" in English on it. Unexpectedly, Fang Li didn't know English and didn't understand what the words on it meant. Seeing this, Luo Yan could only feel helpless. Then he used data to find a diner. Because it was their first date, so he tried hard to find a perfect place. At this time, Fang Li told him that she had an appointment with Chi Fei. Although Luo Yan wanted to sit with her a little longer, he didn't have a reasonable excuse, so he could only watch her leave. Afterwards at the coffee shop, Fang Li sat and listened to Chi Fei complain about Su's issues. Seeing her friend sad, she was embarrassed to say that she and Luo Yan were about to go on a date. Because she didn't know about their date, Chi Fei said that whoever Luo Yan's girlfriend was would suffer a lot, because he was a male god and was the dream guy of countless girls. Afterwards, Fang Li returned to school and ran into a fangirl of Luo Yan who was campaigning for him, because the school was holding a competition about game creation. At this time, she returned to the dorm and realized that if the whole school knew that she and Luo Yan were dating, she would die a terrible death. After thinking for a while, Fang Li decided to wear a disguise to go eat with Luo Yan. Jia Yi in the room saw the two walking together and the matching thermoses, and was certain that Luo Yan and Fang Li were dating. That night at a restaurant, while the two were talking happily, Fang Li asked to go to the restroom because she was too stressed. At this time, Jia Yi and a friend came to this restaurant. Seeing Luo Yan, the two immediately ran over and asked him who he was eating with. But Luo Yan mocked them for being nosy. Seeing that she couldn't argue with Luo Yan, Jia Yi and that friend went into the restroom to find someone. At this time, Fang Li received a call from Luo Yan in the restroom. He said that Jia Yi was looking for her. So Luo Yan said he would find an excuse to hold Jia Yi back so Fang Li could quickly run out. When she managed to run out, he let Jia Yi into the restroom to search. Afterwards, the two went out to the park for a walk. Fang Li felt sorry about tonight's meal because that restaurant was chosen very carefully by Luo Yan, but he said that as long as he was with her, finding a few more restaurants would be fine. The next morning at the shopping mall, Fang Li and Luo Yan went to buy a suit for him. Then she carefully chose a tie for him, but because he didn't know how to tie a tie, Luo Yan asked her to tie it for him. In the changing room, he kept pressing her against the wall. When he was about to kiss her, someone burst in to borrow the changing room. When it was time to pay, because Luo Yan was handsome, the shop owner asked him to take a picture to advertise the shop. Fang Li saw that this could get a discount, so she took a picture for him. Then Luo Yan also took a picture with her. That afternoon, when the two were in the same class, Jia Yi saw that he kept looking at Fang Li, so she deliberately blocked his view. Unexpectedly, the teacher saw that he kept sitting there but looking outside, so she moved him to the front desk to sit with Fang Li. Seeing this, the two secretly held hands in class. Afterwards, the two were dragged to a cafe to sit and listen to Shi Su confide in them. Fang Li saw that Shi Su was also pitiful, so she agreed to help him make up with Chi Fei. Unexpectedly, because of this, the fact that the two were dating almost got discovered by Shi Su, but in the end, Shi Su still didn't realize that the two were in love. The next morning, Luo Yan went on stage to give a speech about the game he created. Suddenly, a fangirl asked him about his ideal type of girlfriend. So Luo Yan clearly described Fang Li in his eyes. Of course, because he kept looking at her, that fangirl discovered that the person he was talking about was Fang Li and said that she was not worthy of him. After hearing this, Luo Yan stood in front of her and said that it wasn't her turn to judge his girlfriend. After school, she took him to the statue of the scholar in the school to pray. The two stood in front of the statue and promised each other that they would never leave each other. Afterwards, the two also gave the statue 2 apples and left. The next morning, because she kept dreaming about Luo Yan, Fang Li woke up late. When she rushed to school, she met him. Because she kept looking at him, she was late for class. The teacher still marked her absent. At this time, Luo Yan appeared and told the teacher that he would help him fix the software. So the teacher forgave her for being late. After school, the two held hands and walked down the street. Suddenly, she saw a couple kissing, which reminded her of her dream yesterday. Because she was too embarrassed, Fang Li quickly ran back to the dorm, while Luo Yan continued to stroll around the school. While walking, he met his father. He brought him some food from his hometown. Then the two went to Luo Yan's house. His father knew that he and Fang Li were in love, so he gave him the car he was driving so he could drive Fang Li around. That night at the dorm, Fang Li received a pile of jelly from Luo Yan. She happily shared it with Mo Li. So Mo Li introduced her to be a tutor for an elementary school boy. Although the boy's house was a bit far from the dorm area, Fang Li happily accepted the job. The next morning at the convenience store, she was talking to Luo Yan about her tutoring job when suddenly a dog appeared. He happily petted the dog and told Fang Li about a dog named Gua. It was the dog he had raised since he was little, but had died of illness. Afterwards, while Fang Li was waiting for the bus, she remembered Gua again. She posted on her personal page saying that Gua would probably be very cute. That afternoon, Luo Yan picked up Fang Li to go eat. So she took out a bag of bread and said she had already eaten this, so she didn't need to spend money to go eat. Luo Yan couldn't convince her either, so he had to drive her home. When they got to the parking spot, Fang Li was surprised because Luo Yan's father had given him this car. When they got in the car, he also declared that the passenger seat would always be hers. Then Luo Yan helped her fasten her seatbelt. At this moment, he was about to kiss Fang Li when suddenly she got heartburn. Then Fang Li started having stomach pains. When she got back to the dorm, she even vomited. Jia Yi and the others saw her like this and came to help. Then saw Luo Yan appear and take her to the hospital, and immediately thought that she must be pregnant. After that, at the hospital, the doctor said that Fang Li had a stomach ache and had to be hospitalized. Luo Yan immediately completed the hospitalization procedures for her, but because the gastroenterology ward was full, he had to have her stay in the obstetrics ward. Afterwards, Fang Li called Chi Fei, said she was sick, and asked Chi Fei to ask for time off work for her. Because she was too worried, Chi Fei came to the hospital to visit Fang Li and found out that she was in the obstetrics ward. So Chi Fei also thought she was pregnant. Just like that, Luo Yan and Fang Li were happy in the hospital. not knowing that the pregnancy rumors were spreading everywhere. When Fang Li was discharged from the hospital, Li took care of her diligently, and Luo Yan was taught a course on being a father. Even his father came to him and said that he should marry her to take responsibility. That afternoon at Luo Yan's house, he and Fang Li were sitting and thinking of a way to let everyone know that she was not pregnant. So the two participated in a physically active game. Just like that, the two won a prize, and the pregnancy rumors disappeared. The next morning at the library, she and Luo Yan were sitting and studying when someone came to ask to get to know him, but he refused straight away. Afterwards, the two went out for a walk when suddenly Kaiyang appeared. He saw that she and Luo Yan were together and immediately wished them happiness and left. But Luo Yan felt uncomfortable seeing Kaiyang. That night at the dorm, Fang Li came back with a gift box. Her roommates came back and saw the gift box and immediately opened it. Seeing that there was a set of lipsticks inside, they all screamed in admiration. Afterwards, Li took out 2 boxes of masks and gave them to Fang Li, saying that these were the products made by Du Kai. The next morning, Fang Li was going to class with Li when she received a message that Luo Yan was about to fly abroad to receive an award. So she rushed to his house, but when she arrived, Luo Yan had already prepared everything for the flight, while Chi Fei had to go to school in her place. That afternoon, Fang Li treated Chi Fei and Shi Su to bubble tea. At this time, Chi Fei asked her about Kaiyang, because he had gone abroad with Man, but now he was back in the country. Both Chi Fei and Shi Su thought that Kaiyang had come back for Fang Li. Right at this moment, Luo Yan sent a message telling her to come to his house and stay. So Shi Su had to take the spare key out of his shoe and give it to her. Before leaving, Fang Li didn't forget to give Chi Fei the masks made by Du Kai. That night, at Luo Yan's house, after Fang Li finished taking care of the plant, she started studying. While studying, she texted with Luo Yan. Then the two even called FaceTime to see each other to ease their longing. The two even left the phone on so they could study and see each other at the same time. After a while, because she was too bored, Fang Li put on a face mask and lay on the chair to study, then fell asleep on the chair. When she woke up, she saw that her face was full of pimples. She quickly closed her laptop so Luo Yan wouldn't see her. Fang Li was afraid that he would worry, so she texted him saying that she was fine. The next morning, Fang Li woke up and saw Luo Yan lying next to her. She immediately sat up and turned her back to him, afraid that he would think she was ugly, but Luo Yan gently put medicine on her face. Afterwards, because he was sleepy, Fang Li slept with him. Later, when he had gone to his game development job, Fang Li called him and asked him to help her choose a mask to wear to school. Finally, she went to school with a cat mask on. After giving the schedule of the ceremony to Kaiyang, Fang Li and Kaiyang went to the lab to test the masks made by Du Kai and discovered that the amount of calamoni inside was 3,000 times higher than normal masks. So Fang Li ran to where Du Kai was giving a speech about the mask models. She gave the test report to him to explain, but Du Kai said that Fang Li was slandering him. So she gave the report to everyone around. After that, she was captured by Du Kai's people. But luckily Chi Yang came to rescue her. After it was over, she and Chi Yang sat in the park. He praised her for being very cool when she exposed Du Kai, but she only felt very embarrassed. Then Chi Yang apologized to her for rejecting her confession before. Hearing this, Fang Li laughed and said that she had forgotten about it. She said that being able to be friends with Chi Yang now was good. That night, after saying goodbye to her classmates, Fang Li saw that Luo Yan was already waiting for her. Then he took her hand back to the dorm area. At this time, he asked her why she didn't tell him about Du Kai. So she apologized and said that she was afraid that her problems would affect his work. Then Fang Li said goodbye to him and went into the dorm area. But when Luo Yan left, she ran out and jumped on his back. It wasn't until the dorm manager came out and called her that she went back inside. Afterwards, he went home and reported Du Kai to the school. So the next night, Du Kai came to find Fang Li. He thought that she was the one who reported him. Even though Fang Li explained until her throat was dry, he still thought that she was the one who reported him. When Du Kai was about to attack her, Luo Yan arrived. He rushed in and kicked him, knocking him to the ground. Then he ran away, leaving Fang Li, who was still scared, hugging him tightly. Afterwards at Luo Yan's house, he apologized for putting her in danger, but Fang Li not only didn't blame him, but also praised him for doing the right thing. Then the two happily hugged again. Later at a restaurant, Luo Yan asked Chi Yang out to talk. The next morning at Luo Yan's house, he woke up and saw that he was sleeping with Chi Yang. While the two were embarrassed, Fang Li arrived. Seeing the two coming out of a room, Fang Li took a picture of the two. While she was happily looking at the phone, Luo Yan ran over and hugged her tightly, so Chi Yang could take the phone and delete the picture. Afterwards, Fang Li sulked so that Luo Yan would coax her. A while later at school, Chi Yang was explaining that sleeping with Luo Yan was just an accident. The two were talking happily when Man appeared. Fang Li saw that Man had arrived. So she left so that she and Chi-Yang could talk, but Chi-Yang left after only saying a few words. After that, at the media room, Fang Li was talking to Luo Yan on the phone when Chi-Yang walked in. While she and Chi-Yang were working, Man came again. She accused Fang Li of being a side chick who stole her boyfriend. Fang Li then explained that the project was assigned by the school, and that she also had a boyfriend, Luo Yan. Hearing this, Chi-Yang pulled Man outside, at the schoolyard. Even though she had heard Chi-Yang's explanation, Man still kept thinking badly about Fang Li and said that she wouldn't let her off easy. Later, when Fang Li left the school and forgot her phone, Man suddenly appeared and told her to get in her car to talk. But when she got in the car, Man didn't say anything and drove at full speed to a mountain. As soon as she got out of the car, Fang Li couldn't help but vomit continuously. Man also vomited, no different from her. Then the two got back in the car to talk. At this time, Man could only cry helplessly because she realized that the problem was that Chi-Yang didn't love her. Afterwards, Man even told Fang Li about her love story with Chi-Yang. That night, when Man and Fang Li hired a taxi to go back, Chi-Yang quickly went to pick up Man and returned Fang Li's phone. Before Chi-Yang could say anything, he received Man's breakup. When she had just left, Chi-Yang couldn't hold back his tears. Afterwards at the dorm, Fang Li returned to her room and immediately called Luo Yan. After she showered, she told him about Chi-Yang's situation. Knowing this, Luo Yan suggested that they invite Chi-Yang and Man to go camping. That day, at the campsite, Fang Li sat with Man in the tent. She tried to persuade Man to reconsider her relationship with Chi-Yang. She even said that Chi-Yang had bought the mackerel that Man liked the most to grill with Luo Yan. Afterwards, Luo Yan called her and Man out to eat. Seeing that Chi-Yang and Man were just silently sitting there, she and Luo Yan deliberately fed each other grilled meat for the other two to see. When the two had left, she and he spit out the undercooked meat. That night at the campsite, Fang Li and Luo Yan slept in the same tent. The two were lying down when Fang Li saw an insect, so she burrowed into his arms to hide. Just like that, the two hugged each other until Chi-Yang and Man came back to the tent together. So the two became very close. The next morning at the dorm, Emily had just broken up with her boyfriend and returned to the room crying. At this time, the girls in the room mentioned the 3-month rule. After being in love for 3 months, boys tend to get tired of their girlfriends. Just right, she and Luo Yan had also been in love for 91 days. So when she got to school, she always thought about Luo Yan getting tired of her. Suddenly, she saw him walking with Xiao Wei. She followed him and found out that he was with Xiao Wei to see a professor to treat his amnesia. After he and Xiao Wei left, she went to see that professor. She was walking absent-mindedly on the road when Luo Yan appeared and took her hand. At this time, Fang Li's mind was divided into two sides, good and evil. While not knowing what to say to Luo Yan, he took her to eat cake. At the cafe, while she was eating, Xiao Wei texted him. Fang Li saw this and got jealous again. Afterwards, Luo Yan even took unflattering pictures of her and said that the pictures looked very bad. So she thought that he was saying that she was ugly and angrily left. He didn't understand what was going on, but still continued to tease her. Right at that moment, Fang Li's anger reached its peak. No matter how Luo Yan apologized, she still left. That morning, she went to the bubble tea shop to work and saw Chi Fei sleeping there. That night, while she and Chi Fei were working, Chi Fei's landlord came. He said that Chi Fei owed more than 6,000 yuan in rent, so he had changed the locks. Afterwards, Fang Li used 300 yuan to chase him away and promised that she would pay him back the 6,000 yuan next week. Right at this moment, Luo Yan walked over. Knowing everything, he helped Chi Fei pay the landlord and even made him change the locks back for Chi Fei. After finishing work, Fang Li told Chi Fei about him getting treatment for his amnesia. So the two started a plan how to help him get back his memories. First, at the boxing area, Chi Fei asked Shi Su to punch Luo Yan to clear his head. After only a few punches, Shi Su was hit with a series of punches from Luo Yan. After it was over, Chi Fei had to help Shi Su massage the bruises. But Chi Fei and she still didn't want to stop. Afterwards at the swimming pool, Chi Fei swam out and pretended to have a cramp so that Luo Yan would come to rescue her. But when Chi Fei was swimming back, she got a real cramp. When Luo Yan rescued Chi Fei, he had to give her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation for her to wake up, but Luo Yan still hadn't remembered anything. That afternoon at Luo Yan's house, Fang Li cooked pork liver over low heat for Luo Yan to eat to nourish his brain. He tried to refuse, but because she kept begging him, he had to eat it. Fang Li was happy for a little while, but afterwards he had to be hospitalized for food poisoning. At this time, she and everyone had to say that they wanted to help him get his memories back. Afterwards, the three asked him about how he felt when he lost his memory. Hearing him talk so movingly, the three hugged him and comforted him. That night at Luo Yan's house, he was just discharged from the hospital and was being carefully taken care of by Fang Li. She also said that she had lied to him that day because of that 3-month principle. She was afraid that he would get tired of her. So Luo Yan immediately promised, as firmly as he could, that he would always be with her. A few days later, Fang Li received her high school uniform from teacher Jiang. Coincidentally, today was also the 100th day anniversary of Fang Li and Luo Yan being in love. Afterwards, the two changed into their high school uniforms. When the two were getting intimate, they almost got discovered by her roommate. The two immediately ran to the park so they wouldn't get caught. After that, the two sat under a tree and talked. At this time, Fang Li felt that it was okay if he stayed like this and didn't remember high school, because she liked him more in the present. But Luo Yan said that the reason he wanted to find his memories was because she was in those memories. The next morning at the basketball court, Fang Li threw the ball but missed every time. She had to have Luo Yan lift her up to be able to throw it into the hoop. After playing, he bought her ice cream. While walking happily on the street, she saw her grandmother. Immediately, Fang Li pushed him into the bushes, and she happily ran to her grandmother's side and quickly took her out to play. When Luo Yan was able to stand up, he couldn't see her anymore. At the library, Luo Yan's father called and said that he should bring Fang Li home for dinner tonight. Afterwards at the cafeteria, he saw her sitting alone and asked why she was avoiding him. He then found out that her grandmother had arrived. The two were talking when suddenly she pulled his hat down to cover his face. It turned out that her grandmother had come with Chi Fei. Fang Li could only say that he was an eccentric friend who liked to cover his face, and then told him to go somewhere else. After eating, as soon as the three of them went outside, Luo Yan pulled Fang Li away to talk privately. He wanted to invite her to his father's house for dinner, and of course she agreed to come to his house. That afternoon, Luo Yan was waiting for Fang Li when Su walked over. Then Fang Li's grandmother and Chi Fei also appeared. He had to get out of the car to greet them. At this time, Fang Li was scared and wanted to drag her grandmother back to the hotel, but her grandmother insisted on staying to ask clearly about the grandson-in-law thing. At this point, Chi Fei had to say that Luo Yan was her boyfriend, and that Su had assumed that Chi Fei was her grandmother's granddaughter, hence the grandson-in-law thing. Afterwards, as the three continued to leave, Luo Yan took the initiative to drive everyone back to the hotel. In the car, Chi Fei explained everything to Su via text message. When her grandmother had entered the hotel, Fang Li came back to the car to go with Luo Yan. Afterwards at the shopping mall, Fang Li was choosing a gift for Luo Yan's family, while he went to buy toys for his half-brother. At this time, she used a puppet to apologize to Luo Yan. After hearing her apology, Luo Yan came in front of her and asked clearly. He didn't understand why she had to hide their relationship with her grandmother. So Fang Li had to explain that it was because he had bullied her in high school that her grandmother had a bad impression of him. Moreover, her grandmother also had high blood pressure, and she was afraid that she wouldn't be able to handle it and would faint. To get Luo Yan to stop being angry, she jumped up and kissed him on the cheek. So the two happily went shopping again. That night, at Luo Yan's father's house, his stepmother welcomed the two very warmly, and his younger brother was surprised that his older brother brought a girlfriend home. The boy thought that his brother would be single forever. Afterwards, his stepmother asked about Fang Li's family. She didn't know that her parents had passed away, so she asked what her parents were doing and where they were. Luo Yan saw that Fang Li was uncomfortable, so he told his stepmother not to ask anymore. His younger brother then pulled his father to look at the painting he drew, so Luo Yan had to take her to his old room to tour. At Luo Yan's room, she discovered that he liked to read romance novels when he was young. While the two were fighting over a book, they fell onto the bed. When the two were about to kiss, his younger brother burst in. The two were happily walking down the street when he picked her up and spun her around. While the two were happy, Fang Li's grandmother appeared. Afterwards, at a restaurant, Fang Li mentioned that she had just been to Luo Yan's house and also admitted that she and Luo Yan were in love. She was originally going to speak up for him, but was kicked out by her grandmother. She said straight to him that she wanted the two to break up. She thought that someone like him couldn't take care of Fang Li. She said that about the high school incident, perhaps Fang Li had forgiven him, but she hadn't. She would never accept the two of them being together. At this time, Luo Yan said that the fact that he and Fang Li were in love was completely real. Fang Li brought her grandmother water to calm down, but she started packing her things to leave. At this time, Fang Li talked about her feelings. She said that the person she loved was Luo Yan, and that she had also forgiven him for the high school incident. So she asked her grandmother to also forgive him. But her grandmother still insisted on leaving, and even had a blood pressure spike and had to take medicine to feel better. At this point, Fang Li had to agree with her grandmother to break up with Luo Yan. That night, she received a message from Luo Yan, but didn't dare to reply. At this time, she could only silently shed tears. The next morning at school, she deliberately acted coldly toward Luo Yan. That night, when Fang Li went to buy roasted sweet potatoes, she met Luo Yan. She silently held an umbrella over him for a while, then decided to say the words, "Let's break up." She cried and begged him to wait for her. Wait until her grandmother agreed to the two of them. Luo Yan saw her crying and his heart ached, so he decided to agree to break up because he didn't want to see her crying like that anymore. Afterwards, he kissed her forehead and left. Back to the past, one afternoon, Luo Yan proactively helped teacher Jiang go to the market. Because he knew that Fang Li's family had a fish stall, so he wanted to go to the market to meet her. At the same time at the market, Fang Li was very enthusiastic in helping her grandmother sell things. Then she saw a thief, so she used the excuse of giving an extra plastic bag to chase him away. Afterwards, that thief came back to threaten her. Seeing this, Luo Yan came to rescue her. At this time, he found out that the thief was a member of a gang of thieves. In the past few days, she had photographed the gang stealing things. Fang Li planned to print them out and post them around the market, but Luo Yan felt that this was too dangerous, so he advised her not to do it. A little later, at teacher Zhang's house, Luo Yan just returned from the market and saw his father. As soon as he sat down, his father announced that he was transferring schools. He thought that this town was too small and wouldn't be as good as schools in big cities. Teacher Zhang also advised him to go back with his father, but Luo Yan used the excuse of semester exams to run away to school. On the way to school, he found out that the thieves had their pictures printed everywhere with snake symbols. They thought that Fang Li did it, so they planned to take revenge on him. Afterwards at school, Luo Yan told Fang Li to pay attention to her exams and to just go to school and go home, and not to wander around. He also announced that he was about to transfer. Hearing this, Fang Li was as happy as if it was a festival because she wouldn't be bossed around by him anymore. Afterwards at teacher John's house, Luo Yan was grinding a stone into the shape of a heart to give to Fang Li. Back to the present, Luo Yan was living sadly because of the breakup, and had even discovered that he had a fever. A few days later, at the bubble tea shop, Su brought the news that Luo Yan had a fever to Fang Li. Afterwards at Luo Yan's house, Fang Li came here and saw that his house really did have someone cleaning. Luo Yan came out of the room, but then told her to leave his house. She wanted to help Luo Yan clean up, but he told her to throw away the photos they took together and even the plant she gave him. After saying that, he went back into the bedroom. Fang Li returned to the bubble tea shop to work. Fei was there also and comforted her because in high school, Luo Yan fought and transferred her place. Later he transferred out of Longxing because of fighting again. So Fei wanted her to reconsider her relationship with Luo Yan. The next morning at the boxing room, Su was also comforting Luo Yan at this time, but unlike Fei, Su tried to persuade Luo Yan to make up with Fang Li. That afternoon at the dorm, Shengzhe heard the news that Fang Li and Luo Yan had broken up, so he came to find her. He wanted to tell her the secret from back then about why Luo Yan had fought. Afterwards, the two went to a cafe to talk. Shengzhe recounted that back then, when Luo Yan was about to transfer, he planned to give her a box of stones and also planned to return her black notebook to her. But when he was about to leave, teacher Jiang burst in. Because he was too hurried, he forgot the notebook on the table. That day, he had a date with her at the bus station, but when crossing the beach, he was attacked by the group of thieves first. Because he had reported the group when they were about to harm Fang Li, they came to take revenge today. Luo Yan was beaten badly. When it started raining, he also stood up and fought back, but in the end, he was still beaten unconscious. Fang Li, who was waiting for him at the bus station, received a call from teacher Jiang. He said that he was holding her notebook. So at that time, Fang Li misunderstood Luo Yan. Shengzhe also wasn't as evil as Luo Yan thought. He was the one who discovered Luo Yan and took him to the hospital. After hearing this, Fang Li hurriedly went to find Luo Yan. That night, when he was preparing to get on the bus home, Fang Li found him. She cried and ran to hug him. She apologized for always misunderstanding him. In high school, he had helped her a lot, but she and her grandmother had misunderstood and blamed him. At this time, Luo Yan told her that the only thing he wanted to hear from her was the sentence, "I love you." So she said, "I love you," and hugged Luo Yan, and the two then kissed and officially got back together. The next morning at Luo Yan's kitchen, he burned himself on the pot while saving Fang Li from falling. Seeing this, she took medicine for him, then accidentally saw the gift box that his mother sent in 10th grade. Afterwards, she carefully helped him apply the medicine. Then she also asked about the gift box from his mother. Luo Yan took the opportunity to talk about his mother. She was an artist who had gone abroad and remarried. At the same time at cafe, his father and mother were sitting and talking to each other. His mother knew that her son had a girlfriend, so she eagerly wanted to find out about Fang Li. Then at the bubble tea shop. That afternoon at the hotel where his mother was staying, his father came and told her not to talk about the painting with her son. At the same time, Su was selling testicles to get money for Fei to go to school, but before he could sell them, he was called back by Fei. Afterwards at school, Fang Li saw his mother and happily greeted her. At this time, Luo Yan also walked over to her. Just like that, Luo Yan met his mother, and the two hugged each other after a long period of separation. A while later at Luo Yan's house, he talked about Fang Li. She said that she liked honest people like her. Hearing this, Luo Yan said that he loved Fang Li very much, and that he would live happily with her in the future. Afterwards, his mother cooked him a table of food. Luo Yan tried it and immediately praised it as delicious. But when she ate it, she discovered that the food was very salty. At this time, Luo Yan said that from a young age until now, this was the first time he had eaten a meal cooked by his mother. Before, she was always busy painting, so she didn't care about him. This made her feel guilty. Afterwards at the hotel, Luo Yan brought flowers to give to his mother, then heard that the reason she came back was because of that painting. Her current husband was burdened with a debt, so now she wanted to bring the painting she had given him to sell. At this time, he completely despaired about this mother. Luo Yan dropped the bouquet and left. That afternoon at school, Fang Li couldn't contact Luo Yan for a long time. She went to his class to look for him and heard that he wasn't attending school today, but she happened to meet his father. Afterwards at a cafe, Luo Yan's father talked about his mother returning because of that painting and that Luo Yan couldn't accept this and had gone somewhere. Hearing this, Fang Li went everywhere to find him. That night, she found Luo Yan at the bridge. She quickly took him home because he was too drunk now. Afterwards, Luo Yan held her hand, so Fang Li stayed and slept next to him. The next morning, the two woke up because of the alarm. Afterwards, Luo Yan went to cook breakfast for her, and at this time, Fang Li advised him to forgive his mother because after all, she was still his mother, and at least he could still meet his mother again, unlike her, whose parents had both passed away. So Luo Yan recovered his spirits. The next morning at the hotel, when his mother was about to fly abroad, Luo Yan and Fang Li came. He gave his mother back that painting and said that he loved her very much, and hoped that in the future, if she had free time, she would come back to see him. After speaking, she got in the car and left, while Luo Yan happily went back with Fang Li. That afternoon at Luo Yan's house, he and Fang Li were playing Jenga. Fang Li wanted to win, so she pushed Luo Yan's hand. The prize was a Pocky stick. Because she had cheated, he ate half of the stick. After playing, the two took photos. At this time, Luo Yan noticed that she had a hidden image folder on her phone. He asked about it, and found out that it had photos of her first love in it. So he was sad from the time they were at home to the time he took her back to the dorm. That night at a restaurant, Luo Yan called Su out to discuss Fang Li's first love. After talking for a while, the two both thought that Fang Li still hadn't forgotten her first love, which was why she kept his photos on her phone. Su suggested that Luo Yan hack Fang Li's phone to see who that person was. Afterwards, he went home and hacked her phone, but after thinking for a while, he still decided not to look at the photo of that person. Then he sent a message inviting Fang Li to his house for dinner. Afterwards, when the two had finished eating and drinking, he gave her a survey, which recorded to what extent her love was at. But Fang Li felt uncomfortable. She didn't like the idea of evaluating feelings through such items. After speaking, she left. The next morning at the part-time job, Fang Li went to work feeling annoyed. Fei saw that she was like this, so she joined her in bad-mouthing Luo Yan. At the same time, Su and Luo Yan were also talking about what happened last night. While walking, Luo Yan was called back by the teacher. A while later at school, because Jia was about to go for an internship, the teacher wanted him to guide Jia. After speaking, the teacher left so that the two could work. At this time, Jia also knew what was going on, so she apologized to him for the things she did to Fang Li. Jia had also realized that the love of her life wasn't him. While the two were working, Fang Li walked over. As soon as she saw the two together, she sadly left and accidentally bumped into another male student. It turned out that that male student was Jia's boyfriend. He also told Luo Yan about seeing Fang Li outside, so he ran after her to explain that he and Jia were just working on the teacher's orders. Hearing this, Fang Li finally forgave him. Then Luo Yan asked about her first love, saying he was jealous of that person. But hearing this, Fang Li couldn't stop laughing. Back to Fei. She accidentally picked up a book that belonged to a stranger. Unexpectedly, that person was Teacher Han. When Teacher Han received her email, he decided to accept her as a student. So today, Teacher Han came here to announce that Fei had received his scholarship. A few days later, at one of Fei's rehearsals, when she was on stage playing the role of Sun Wukong, Su rushed up to confess his feelings to Fei. He said that he had done things that wronged her before, so now he wanted to confess his feelings to her properly to atone for his mistakes. Of course, Fei agreed. She even took off the golden hoop and put it on Su. That afternoon at Luo Yan's house, Fang Li showed him a picture of her first love. Surprisingly, it was a picture of him from high school. Fang Li said that she had liked him from the first time they met. That year, a hot girl from the class next door liked him and wanted to ask her to write a confession letter for a pretty high price, so that afternoon, she wrote a love letter. But the more she wrote, the more it seemed like her own confession letter. Afterwards, She was even afraid that Luo Yan would actually agree to love that hot girl. So the next day, she refused to write the love letter. Afterwards, in a chemistry class, Fang Li suddenly had menstrual cramps, so Luo Yan made her a hot compress. At that time, she loved him even more. Afterwards, Fang Li even used songs to say, "I love you" to Luo Yan. Back in the present, the two are very happy because they have fallen in love with each other once again. This is where the story ends. Don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss out on more amazing videos. For now, goodbye and until next time.